Yeah, they're awesome. Stacy's Mom's a really good song though too. I'm not gonna write it off just because it's popular or something. You know, it's a good song. Um, of course, I had something to talk about again. iPhones. Uh, I wanted an iPhone really bad. I've wanted one for a long time. I think they're really cool. And like, I went to the store, because you know they're cheap, and my phone broke and all this, so I went to go get one. I wasn't due for an upgrade, so it was gonna cost me like $800, which is absurd. But I got this little Palm Pixie, it's called. Um, and like it's got the internet and it's got apps, but I didn't have to change my plan. So I don't know, like iPhone, you got to change your plan and pay so much more for it. This one, supposedly, I have all the same, similar capabilities. I got Google Maps and stuff on it. I can go on the internet, but my plan's the same. I don't have to pay like a data fee. Am I wrong? Someone tell me so I can not pay a really expensive bill. Meaning my parents don't have to do it. But I'm gonna write this song that I just played down. Sorry, I'm not even gonna try and talk through it. Sons of Wayne. But okay, I'm glad I didn't get the iPhone though, because even with this Palm thing, it's a really tiny screen, so it's like less incentive for me to be going on the internet all the time and like using apps. And I feel like I'd just be shutting myself off to the world if I had an iPhone. Like I'd be on the bus, and instead of like paying attention to the world around me, I'd just be on the iPhone. I'd just be like tweeting all the time. I would just have that, you know, if just because it's easy and it's there, I would just rely on it all the time, and I would just lose my humanity. I'd just lose my personhood. Because, you know, I'm always on the phone, and it's just easy, and it's there. And, like, your entire life you can control with your phone. You can turn your car on with it and stuff. I know, it's weird having that all in your pocket. I don't want it to become my brain. You know what I'm saying? It's scary. I don't know where we're headed. I don't know. I have hope, though. I don't think we're going to become too dependent on technology to the point where we're less human. But I think we're going to come very close. And it's terrifying to me. I mean, I don't know. I have no reason to believe that. I just think that's going to happen. What crazy stuff can I talk about, man? I worked at Walgreens over the summer in the Grand Avenue Mall, downtown, busiest Walgreens in the city. And one day, it was one of my first days, and a guy comes up, and he's got one eye, but he doesn't have an eye patch. And I think he pooped his pants minutes before walking into the Walgreens. It smelled awful. And he comes up and he's like, Walgreens? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, Walgreens? I'm like, yeah. He said, cigarettes? And all the cigarettes are behind me because I'm at the register. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, what kind of cigarettes? And he's like, menthol. I'm like, what brand? He's like, Marlboro. And I put him on the counter. And I'm too passive to like make a stink. He started opening them, and I'm like, sir, you got to pay for those. But I should have reached over and grabbed them, so he didn't, run away with them. But I did. I'm just like, hey, can you pay for those? I felt bad for the guy too, But he ran off he opened them and took one out and then ran off. And I'm like, all right. In our training, they told us not to run after people, so I'm like, I'm not gonna run after this guy. And my boss did, and he got really mad at me that I didn't. Weird. And it was weird because he pooped his pants, which makes the whole thing funny. If he didn't do that, I'd be like, that's sad. I mean, I feel bad. I do feel bad for this guy, but I think you can also feel bad and think it's hilarious because he pooped his pants. He pooped, and that's really funny. And I think you can make jokes about many things that people think you can't. If they're funny, we're learning in my theology class about probabilism. If the Catholic doctrine, quote unquote, supposedly the Catholic Church says you have to do this, if you have good enough reason, meaning people support you, or you think in your soul what you're believing is a good enough idea, then God says it's okay. And one of the reasons for believing something in the minority in the Catholic, like you can believe in like gay marriage or something. One of the reasons is for not for gay marriage. That's not funny. But you can think something is okay, even it's supposedly immoral. You can think it's okay for humor. And I think that's amazing. I think that gives a lot of freedom to Catholicism. That humor, that you can acknowledge something as being immoral or whatever, but you can still laugh at something because it's funny. Because you can't make it it's not funny because it's offensive or something. This is too abstract to even be discussing right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there are definitely certainly boundaries. There's things that you can't joke about. But if something's funny, that means it's on the table to be joked about. So don't feel bad for laughing at something, is what I'm trying to say. I started watching a documentary yesterday on Jay Dilla, so I'm gonna play a Dilla song. Lightworks. He's a DJ, and he died, and right before he died of this really rare blood disease, he put out this incredible album of just beats. And so, like, rappers, I think they use them sometimes. The song's called Lightworks, and MF Doom samples it in one of his songs.